You ever catch yourself thinking, I know better, so why the hell am I still doing the same thing? Or do you ever read something or watch a video? Maybe talk to a friend or a mentor, a coach, and you feel that spark of insight, like that click, where suddenly everything makes sense. But then a week later, you're back to yelling at your wife again, avoiding your kids, or drinking too much, or drowning in shame because nothing actually changed. Yeah, you guys, that gap between awareness and embodiment, that's where most men get stuck. And it's not because we're lazy. It's not because we're broken. It's because most of our lives, we've been unconsciously running from truth. Let me explain, okay? We don't run from truth because we want to. We run from it because at some level, truth threatens our sense of safety. You see, most of us are dumb and in the most honest human way. And I say that with love. I mean that we are unaware. We're blind to how many ways we've been sabotaging our own peace. We don't realize that the way we lash out in anger, or the way that we obsess over our partner's past, or the way that we shut down emotionally and just call it being strong, these are all protections. They're not conscious choices. They're trauma responses. And they will keep us small. We live our whole lives thinking that we're in control, when in reality, it's our wounded parts that are calling all of the shots. The little boy who was ignored, or the teenager who was humiliated, the man who was betrayed. These parts don't vanish with age. They just go underground. And as long as they stay hidden, they dictate the very direction of our lives. And that's why we end up screaming at our wives and then feeling like absolute assholes afterwards. That's why we crave connection but keep building walls. That's why even with all of our success, we still feel like failures. So what happens? Eventually, the pain becomes too loud to ignore. The marriage hanging on by a thread. Or your son looks at you like he's scared. Or you see your wife flinch when you raise your voice. You catch your own reflection and think, what the fuck happened to me? Where did I go? It's a form of rock bottom. And as brutal as it is, it's a gift. Because pain, when it's heavy enough, makes us desperate for change. And desperation cracks us open so wide that we can start looking for truth. And that's where learning begins. That's when we start watching the videos like this, or reading books, going to therapy, listening to podcasts, trying to gather all of the knowledge that we can, because our life is important to us. We don't want to lose it. We start to name our patterns, and we realize, oh shit, this is why I am the way that I am. It's like turning the lights on in a room that we've been stumbling through for fucking years. You guys, that's what we call awareness. And awareness is powerful. It raises your standards. It makes you intolerant of your own bullshit. And it gives you the option to choose differently. But here's where most men stop. They confuse awareness for change. And they think that just because they understand their trauma, they're healed. Just because they can talk about their anger, it won't show up anymore. But insight without action, that's a trap. And it gives you the illusion of progress while keeping you stuck in the same cycles. Let me make this so real for you, okay? Imagine you hire a golf coach and you've been slicing the ball for years. Your coach watches your swing and tells you exactly what you're doing wrong. Your grip is off. Your hips are stiff. You're not following through. And you nod your head. You get it. And boom, your awareness, man. You go to the range. You hit a few good shots. You feel like a fucking legend. But that doesn't mean you're ready for the PGA Tour. Because a week later, you're back to the same old swing. Why? Because knowledge without repetition does not create muscle memory. You didn't just change your swing. You just understood why it was broken. This is exactly what happens emotionally. You can journal your trauma. You can track your triggers. You can quote your therapist all day long. But until you practice responding differently again and again, especially when it's hard, nothing will stick. You've got 40 fucking years of this trauma response. What do you expect? The nervous system, your inner child, it doesn't change through thinking. It changes through doing. And that's why in my program, we don't just talk about wounds, we move them. We don't just identify patterns, we interrupt them. We scream, we shake, we write letters to our younger selves, we wring out rage with a fucking towel, you guys. We name all of our values, we track our habits, we commit to practicing until the new identity becomes fully embodied. This work isn't about mastering information. It's about rewiring integration. And I'll let you in on a little secret. It's fucking hard. Your ego will resist. Your old patterns will fight you to survive tooth and nail. Your body will crave the chaos that it's used to, but you have to keep showing up because eventually the practice becomes your new normal. Eventually, the calm becomes more familiar than the rage. Eventually, the love that you used to push away becomes something that you can actually receive. But you can't get there by thinking. You have to train. This is why I'm so passionate about the work. Because I was stuck for years in that same cycle. Knowing better, but not doing better. I was the man with the insight, the awareness. I had all the language, but I wasn't living it. And it destroyed every part of my previous relationships. And it wounded people that I loved. And it almost broke me. Until I learned that transformation isn't just a decision, it's a discipline. It's a daily practice of choosing who you want to be, especially when it's uncomfortable. You guys, if you're hearing this and it's hitting you, if you're realizing that you've been gathering awareness but haven't committed to embodiment, then I want you to ask yourself something. Get ready. One question. Are you willing to practice this? Not just once. Not just when you're in the mood. But every fucking day. Until the new you becomes automatic. You're ripping the old you and the new you apart. Tear yourself away from the old you. Because if not, all of the awareness that you've gained, it'll become another weight that you carry. Another reason to shame yourself. Another layer of guilt. But if you're ready to stop running, ready to get real, ready to build a life from the inside out, then I want to invite you to take a step. You guys, there's a link in the description where you can book a call or go to my website, theobstacleremover.com, and apply to join my inner circle. It's where I walk you through the exact steps that I take all of my private clients through. And we go straight to the root. We bring out your nervous system and we put it back into alignment. And we train every day until the man that you want to be, he's not a hope. He's not something that you hope for, wish for anymore. He's just who you are. So remember, you're not chasing the life that you want. You need to become the person who just lives it. And the moment you make the invisible visible within you guys, creation will make it happen. You've got all of the awareness already. Now it's time to just build the embodiment. Don't wait for more pain to push you. Let your vision pull you. You were made for more than this cycle that you're stuck on, and it's time to prove it. So I will see you on the inside. Talk to you soon.